Here's a little piece of flash fiction I just whipped up this morning. Hope you enjoy it. The clanging of the steel grating brought the pattering of rain to mind. Thompson felt a lot better about rain than he did about steel grating. Steel grating meant work. Meant standing for hours at a time and tromping up and down paneled corridors. But rain? You rarely got rain on a spaceship. Well, never really. And if you did, something was seriously wrong. Best case scenario in that case was that a sewage line had broken. Wait, could that be considered best case scenario? Thompson thumped down the grated corridor laden down with about 80 pounds of gear and equipment. Well, yeah, sewage line was better than fuel or hydraulics. He considered whether he'd rather be soaked in flammable oil and burned alive or blasted with a stream of liquid poo in a small maintenance corridor, but the prospect was inconclusive. He wiped a trickling bead of sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand. Robots! Couldn't they get any robots in here? I mean, for crying out loud, everything on a spaceship is heavy. You'd think the engineers would think about that. I mean, they actually built the friggin' things in space so they're not constrained by the limits of gravity and the physics of the spaceship's construction. Thompson stared down at the large steel piston that had been left lying unceremoniously across the walkway by his day shift counterpart. Seriously? Right in the middle of the floor? No straps, no tie-downs, no chalking, nothing. What if the gravity fields went out momentarily? What if the ship lurched in a jump to hyperspace? This particular vessel wasn't equipped with hyperdrive, but Thompson was prepared for every contingency and had a vivid imagination. Safety first. What if... Oh, wait. The day shift guy had set crowbars on either side of the piston with the curved end of the bar between the grates and the floor panel to hold the large piston in place. Okay. He guessed that was somewhat clever. Still, he'd complained to the shift supervisor. Okay, how to pick it up without killing himself. That's right. He'd been grumbling in his head about how heavy everything was. Steel! Why did everything have to be steel? Yeah, great idea, guys. Build a ship outside of gravity and make everything as cheap and heavy as you want. Then, once the ship is commissioned and you've got gravity fields turned on, don't bother fitting the ship with robots that can walk down graded corridors. Thompson had never taken an engineering class in his life, but he was an expert in his own mind. He crouched and gripped the piston between both hands. Then with a large, single, swinging motion, he slung it over his shoulder. Brilliant! Now he was toppling backwards. Aluminum! Couldn't anything be made of aluminum? No, everything's gotta be steel. Genius, just genius, guys. We break our backs picking anything up if we can avoid getting a hernia. Thankfully, the piston pinged into a wall panel and stopped him from falling to the ground and being crushed by his load. He righted himself and glanced over it at the wall panel. It was aluminum. Great! Aluminum wall panels that dent the instant you touch them. Crap, they're probably going to take that out of his paycheck. He took a deep breath and wondered again whether he'd rather be covered in sewage. It's okay, he thought to himself. I can still blame day shift.